into superstars, and it has made some of Simraceway's greatest broadcast moments. Here at Watkins Glen International Speedway, it really is going to be a phenomenal event using these Renault 3.5s. So, my name's Liam Jenkins. I'll be calling all of the action for you over the next couple hours or so. Don't forget, we've got 5 races for you, so 4 skill quad races, and then a support race, including those Mitsubishi Evos. And as mentioned a few seconds ago, using the car today, the 2011 Formula Renault 3.5, the series which has spurred on so many real-life superstars, including Kevin Magnussen, son of Jan Magnussen, and Stoffel van Dorn, both drivers who are in the McLaren Young Driver Academy and tipped to be in Formula 1 within the next few years or so. The question is, can anyone else really accomplish that sort of level today within the Simraceway Sunday race-off? There's only one way to find out, but with 2 minutes 41 seconds left to go, Spatial Dragon is the man who may, just may, have a say on his pole position. The current standings are Waylander on pole, Racecar Fan second, third is Dragon, fourth Boss Hog, fifth place there for Cool Shen, sixth is James 38, having just left the track. Seventh is Michael 28701, who's found himself in a tyre wall there, so I'm not too sure if that was on off. I'm assuming it was. He's got himself back to the pit lane now. It could be very well a connection issue. Even so, 7 drivers in this qualifying session, which, in all honesty, for this sort of event, the 500 to 700, usually the smallest of the grids, not a bad grid at all. Very good showing here today, so well done to every single driver who showed up for this event and willing to race this short 5-lap sprint here around the Watkins Glen circuit to try and accomplish a Sunday race-off victory to add to their Simraceway CV. 1 minute 43 to go, then we get into that stage of the qualifying session where every single bit of time that you cover is vital. Everything you do will impact this session. Now, the time for banker laps has been and gone. It's literally now or nothing. You cannot fall back on a lap if you haven't produced it. It's time really now to up the ante and see what these drivers can do. So just over a minute to go, still Waylander at the top, and he's got quite a hefty gap as well, about 0.3 of a second back to Racecar Fan. So the question being, can Racecar Fan do anything to really put this race in jeopardy? Obviously starting on the front row, you really want to get that inside run going into the first corner. Racecar Fan wanting to vie for that with as much as he can. 1.3 seconds is what he needs to find. He is 2.7 in front of Boss Hog, so he shouldn't need to really worry about losing second position, although he may have just lost any chance of getting first. He went very wide there, going in towards just through the spoon, and now needing to try and just get that power down as early as he possibly can. Nice and light there on the pedals, just try and almost caress the car around. The last thing you want to do is be pushing that car beyond its limits. And across the line he's going to go now. Will this be an improvement or no? I can't really see it happening. No, it's not. Obviously, that little error could have cost him valuable time. But he's got one more lap, so it's not over. Let's keep an eye on him. Through the S's. Oh, and he's made a bit of an error there already. I think he's turned in too sharp. And as they make their way down the back straight into that chicane. The chicane, of course, which saw various incidents when we've run at this track before. The very high curbing there running to be quite the issue for some of the drivers who try to obviously overtake on the inside, get into braking points late and wrong. It really can be a treacherous corner. We've seen cars fly in the air. We'll see what the rest of the field can do today. And don't forget as well, if you want to get involved, head over to simraceway.com. It's a free-to-play game. So be sure to sign up. You get a lot of content for free. And you too can find yourself in the spotlight here on a Sunday race-off. And maybe, as a little spoiler coming, perhaps on a future podcast. A little bit more on the idea of that one coming up a bit later. As we come towards the end of the session, Racecar needs to get his car over that line now. He had a bit of a lock-up about 2 or 3 corners ago. So ideally needs a perfect last couple of corners. He can't really be making any more errors. Although he's looking much tidier than he was there last time. A lot more dedicated, especially through this final corner. Nice and early on the throttle. Get the car over to the left-hand side. And now as he hits the top of 6th gear, oh, he gets it down! But he's still 2/10 away and the checkered flag is out. That's the end of the session. So we'll be right back with you in just a moment's time. Race car fan, that lockup could have been the difference between first and second. Here we go then, welcome back everybody to the first race of your Simraceway Sunday race-off. 5 laps around the Watkins Glen circuit and a pole position which was took by Waylander in a very tense final few moments as race car fan over-halved that lead that Waylander had. It was a 1.3 second lead, it came down to just 2/10, but unfortunately it was not enough to sit him on the pole position. The question is, can he make up for it though, or is it too little too late? We're about to find out. We've got 3 red lights. We've got 4. And the cars are away. A big start by Waylander. And I think race car fan must have been held down. We've got carnage in the background. I think that may have been... I think it was Michael. Yes, it was. So Michael's lost the front wing. He was complaining of latency issues a few moments ago. And I think it's evident to see that now that they were for him. But for the rest of the drivers, they head up towards the chicane. There's contact at the front. And that's race car fan who's lost his front wing. Race car fan, the man who took such a delightful second position, is now falling down the field quicker than a rock off a cliff. And it's all gone wrong there for Ricky, who stormed through the field here on his debut in the race-off. Great start there for Ricky. And unfortunately, race car fan's trying to keep it on track, but Spatial Dragon does not really want to hold up and get past him. Cool Shen does do the job and get himself past nice and quickly, but what a tragic start to the race, unfortunately, for him. Back up front, Waylander's already got himself a monstrous lead now. 2.6 seconds last time round, and I'm sure when they hit, well, even close to that start-finish line, it's going to be doubled at least. Ricky there, still P3. James P4. Good start by James 38. Very impressive. We'll see if he can maybe catch him and start applying some pressure. James really has evolved over these past few months or so as a racer and motorsportsman as well. The oldest member in the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off community. And there goes Ricky. Spun it just like that. So James 38 showing his reaction as well. Very sensible driving there. Does not plow into him, does not try and speed up and go round him. Slows down, makes sure the car's round him before getting on the throttle. And in turn, that has earned him a third place spot in this race with 1.6 seconds next to the nearest car. Lap 2 of 5, Waylander leads from Boss Hog, then James, then Cool Shed and Spatial Dragon. A very different lineup to what we could have predicted at the very start of the race. And James got to be careful. Took a lot of curb over those last couple of corners. He can't be doing that too often. This circuit will punish you. And it will punish you greatly as well. But you want to keep an eye on that trio. Cool Shed and Spatial Dragon are catching James as Ricky J brings his Formula Ford, it almost looked like there, without a rear wing or a front wing, into the pit lane. But Spatial Dragon, oh, he's hit James, no! And just like that, James goes propelling into the barrier. Oh, and that's such a shame. You have to feel for him. What a great start he had in third place, but he's been slammed into the barrier. It's slammed into the Armco. As a result, the front wing goes spearing off, and now he's down to fifth. A lot of drivers having early troubles, but there has to be some sort of penalty, I think, for Spatial Dragon. That was a very late move. Even if he did just lock the brakes, that was really out of order, though. She should have moved out of the way. Either way, the trio still proceed to get to the end of lap 2. It's still Spatial Dragon that leads that train. Cool Shen, after what was being up with him a minute ago, has just made himself lose quite a lot of time after losing that back end kicking out. He's gone wide. I think Cool Shen's on the wing as well. Yes, he has. So race back to the pit lane for those guys. But no, Cool Shen's... Oh, they both stay out. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So fighting over fourth at the moment. Both cars are that front wing. Cool Shen rejoins the circuit, and James, this is going to be interesting. With both cars not having a front wing, you've got to really wonder who's going to come on top here. That downforce will be utterly unbearable on those cars. And they're both trying to stay alive on the track. It's really going to be a survival of the fittest. And who can stay alive? Who can keep their car on track? Who drives them more conservatively? The top three now, 9 seconds already between Waylander and Boss Hog. 22 between Waylander and Spatial Dragon. So Waylander really running away with this. And as he comes towards that final corner again, he'll start his penultimate lap of the afternoon then. Then that will be his Sunday race off over and done with. And well, what a way to make an impression as well. Not only has he taken pole, but by some strange circumstance, he's got himself a monstrous lead. He's been able to lead from the front, cruise his way, and really just take it in his stride. You can't really put the man down either. It's been a great drive for him. So we'll just watch Waylander as well and see if he can make sure to bring this car home. Funnily enough as well, all 8 runners are still in this race. A quick rundown of the order. Waylander from Boss Hog, Spatial Dragon 3rd, James 38 4th with Cool Shen 5th, Race Car, then Michael, and then Ricky J91. Ricky, who was up to 3rd at one point, pitted in after a big spin, now down to 8th position. And well, in danger of being lapped very shortly from a certain Mr. Waylander. Over the line he goes, starting lap number 3 of 5 for Ricky. Meanwhile, it's going to be lap 5 of 5 in a few moments' time for Waylander. Cool Shen discovering how difficult those curbs are, and looking through the field, let's count the number of cars who actually have full front wings intact. We've got 1 with Waylander, 2 with Boss Hog, 3 with Spatial Dragon, James does not have one. Coolshen does not have one. Race Car does. Michael doesn't have one. And Ricky does have one after pitting. So about half and half. Which is very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So I think we've all got to really just take a look at what Waylander's doing right now, because he's not that far away from becoming a Sunday race-off victor, and can't really excuse his performance. He's been in tip-top form all afternoon. So he's just got a few more corners left around, and then we'll see him cross the line. And what a victory it's going to be for him as well. Really can't take away from the fact of how well he's done.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
So through the final corner then, and Waylander is going to be a winner in the Simraceway Sunday race-off. What a drive. Really good job there. Absolutely an awesome job by Waylander indeed. He's so pleased with that one. Boss Hog will cross the line in P2 in just a few moments' time, so another good effort there for him. Another solid run actually. Boss Hog improving as days go by. Spatial Dragon will be P3. P4 will be James 38. If James 38 can recover to 4th, very fair play to him. He's done a good job this afternoon as James. And it could have been a podium. His race could have been so different if it wasn't for that contact with Spatial Dragon. And it really did change the shape of his race, the outcome of it. But nonetheless, 4th position. Not too shabby at all there for the oldest member in the Sim Raceway community. So congratulations to James 38. So 5th place will be Coolshen, 6th place Race Car Fan, 7th will be Michael 28701, and Ricky J91 will be your last runner here in the Sunday race-off for race number 1. Don't forget, don't go anywhere guys, you've still got 4 more races coming up for you today, including that Support Evo race as well, so you really don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you very shortly for the second of tonight's races. Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying for the second of tonight's races here in the Simraceway Sunday race-off. And what an event is going to be still here at Watkins Glen with the Formula Renault 3.5s. Again, the car which has propelled such motorsport icons and stars in the past is here to do it today once again in the Simraceway Sunday race-off. And what an event we do have planned for you tonight. Don't forget, there is no open setup race tonight, but what we do have, however, it's going to be an equally entertaining race, including the Mitsubishi. Hello everybody and welcome back to the closing qualifying session here at the Simraceway Sunday race-off. 2 minutes to go here in the second event, and again using these prestigious Formula Renault 3.5 cars which have spurred on such brilliant motorsport talent when you look at the drivers that have competed there this season and in the past as well. Drivers such as Stoffel Van Dorn, such as Kevin Magnussen, such as a certain Sergei Sorokin, who's going to be in Formula 1 next season, Carlos Sainz Jr., part of the Red Bull Driver Academy, Lucas Forssetti's also competed this season. It really has been a great innovation by Renault, and now the cars take top flight here at Watkins Glen International Circuit. It's going to be a great event, that's for sure. 8 cars again. Firefall's currently the fastest with a 130.101, a 130.9 for Darren C in second. Victorious in P3 with a 131.1. Master Rocco in P4. Supercar in P5. Digamer in P6. Parochian 7th, and 340 Super is in 8th with 1 minute and 8 seconds left on the clock. So it's already been, as we say, a great session. But when it comes to the Watkins Glen circuit, it really does take something quite special to perform here today. And that's what's going to set a driver away from his competitors here. It really is a circuit which separates the men from the boys. I think that's the best way to describe the circuit. There's so many different elevation changes, different ways of approaching the corners, and also different ways of potentially ruining your lap. There are a lot of positions where you can get caught out on this circuit. Look at the chicane for an example. Those high mounted curbs which we spoke about earlier on didn't come into play as much in race number 1, but I'm sure within the next couple they are going to play a big factor indeed. And as the session does come to a close, can anyone catch Firefall, who's in the pits? So Victorious is out on the circuit. He's just come across the line now in P3, and just really wondering, has he got enough speed? He's about a second away. It's only a tenth behind Darren in P2 there. As the session really does draw to a close now. So, drivers are finishing their current laps at the moment at 1:30.1, still stands as the fastest. I can't really see anyone beating Firefall's time. Really, has been a blistering 8 tenths quicker than the nearest competitor. Darren C still barely holding on to that second place. It all relies on what Victorious can produce here in these closing stages of the lap. He's done 2 more laps as well than his competitors. He's currently on 7. Both Darren and Firefall have done 2 less, so Victorious has done a good job at getting those laps out there. He's got himself in a good position, but he'd love to take that second away from Darren in these closing stages. It has been done before. So that does bring an end to this qualifying session then, as the cars just make their way over the start-finish line for the final time in a bid to try and get themselves up, and Victorious does it! He takes it by 3/10 of a second, and he also closes down 5 tenths away from Firefall. Big lap there from Victorious. Absolute blister of a lap. He's now up to P2, and that was a shot. We said it can be done. We know what he's capable of, and he's duly delivered. We'll be back very shortly with the race. So we're back again then, double the distance of last race, 10 laps around Watkins Glen. The driver's looking for about a total of 15 minutes race time, so much more like what these cars would run in reality. Question is who's going to be able to master the conditions. It's a tricky circuit and it's a tricky car as well. How much ground can these guys gain in the opening few laps? How much ground can Firefall gain on his opening run into the first corner? Let's find out now as we await those 4 red lights. Now they come on, and now the engines start to rev up, and now we have a race on our hands already up to 50 miles an hour. Great start by our pole sitter. He's able to close it off, but look at Victoria's right alongside him. Victoria's got a great run on the outside line. Can he maintain it? No, he can't. And he's gone way wide. He rejoins. Oh my goodness me. Huge contact with the wall there. And he's just gone spearing off. Darren C, I think, got a bit of a nudge as well, unfortunately. He retains his front wing, unlike Pecorian just behind, who's lost out already. Victorious is out of the game. So just like that, Victorious has left the race. The man who was challenging for the lead at turn 1, we've got a car off there as well. Supercar 1 at that chicane. And Pecorian, without any front wings, has got no downforce at all. He's parked the car, and that's raced over him as well. So 2 drivers out already. There's another car. Firefall's out. Our pole sitter's out. They're dropping like flies. I would say it's dancing on ice, but that has more competitors. They're flying off, and we said this is a difficult track and car combo, but this is something else. Absolutely challenging circuit. There's another one off Supercar 1. Pirouettes into the wall. He's lucky to maintain control of his car, and more importantly, maintain control of that front wing and make sure that stays attached to the nose cone. But even so, he still tries to spear on, soldier on. And now as you take a look, there's a little battle forming there for P2. Master Rocco and Darren C. Both of those guys coming towards the end. I say that just as Master Rocco goes in the pits for a drive-through penalty. So interesting stuff. I'm assuming that was for earlier contact. Into the pit lane he goes, and that's going to be a deafening blow to what could have been a very successful race for him. But at the same time, with 3 retirements, he's guaranteed a top 5. So it could be a lot worse. Every cloud has a silver lining, and it turns out the silver lining may outweigh the cloud here for Master Rocco. So lap 2 out of 10. And take a look at what the race leader's doing. Dykema, who's taken the reins of this horse, has really ridden it into the sunset. 2.1 seconds clear at the moment compared to Daniel C. So he is improving as time goes on. Question is, can he retain that though? Because there is a huge possibility that he may make it to the end of this race. When you just think of the challenges this circuit produces, the aerodynamic challenges, the disadvantages of running an open wheel car around here. Same when the Indy cars have ever come here, or any open wheels really do see. Even with the endurance cars, with the World Endurance vehicles, the ALMS, which runs here very often, it's a very difficult circuit to conquer, and that's what makes Watkins Glen so special, and what gives it such a historic reputation. And as Dykema goes across the start-finish line, it seems that sunset may turn into a bit of a nightmare moon, because right now 0.9 seconds is how far Darren is away. He really has started to get that comeback going, to get a lot closer to the back of Dykema, and once you're within 1 second mark, that's within slipstream territory, and once you're within slipstreaming, that is when things get dangerous. So he does have to be very careful about how he approaches this now. The defensive playbook has to come out. He's got to be very wary. So many opportunities to overtake on this circuit. Not many of them present themselves with an opportunity of success either. There's always a kind of chance that you may end up in a wall, or you may end up spinning out, and Dykema has to be wary of that Darren does go for the right move. And as the 2 cars make their way then over the crest of the hill, let's take a run on board with Darren C and see his point of view and hear that Formula Renault really roar into life. It's been a good start for Darren indeed, and he wants to really convert that into a victory. Both of these guys hunting for their first win today, so will be a great addition once again to the CV. And into the final corner to start lap number 4. Bit of a wider line there by Dijkema. I'm not sure that was entirely intentional, actually. But through turn number 2, they're going to come, and Supercar 1 even is catching these guys. He's about 4/10 slower that time round. The fastest off the lead 3 was Darren C, in fact. So we'll see what Darren can do as he tries to obviously track down our race leader. And the reason why he may have been quick may just be because he had that slipstream. The large part of Watkins Glen and the trip to Conquer in it is the fact that you do have that slipstream. It can pull you in, easily gain you maybe 10, 12, 15 miles an hour. And it's hearing his Formula Renaults roaring to life as well. And in all honesty, a large amount of that has to come down to the quality of what the car's been. It's a very difficult car to drive, as we've said. It's like tackling a stallion, and in that aspect, you do have to kind of applaud the drivers coming through the ranks of real-life motorsport. The guys like Stoffel Van Dorn, like Kevin Magnussen, like Carlos Sainz Jr., who's been recently promoted from Formula 3 to this series, that this car is a very difficult beast to tame. And yes, it looks easy on TV, and everyone automatically thinks Supercar 1 is off. Final corner from 3rd place. A complete pirouette. And what do we get when we see pirouettes? Dancing on ice. Supercar 1 brings the tradition back alive in the Sunday race-off. But when you think about these cars, and when you think, really, about how difficult they are, when you look at TV and you watch a Formula 3.5 race, you think, oh, this isn't Formula 1, therefore the cars must be easier to drive. Yes, they are, but really, that's still very, very difficult and still far beyond anything I would ever be able to drive and keep all 4 wheels on the tarmac. These cars are relentless. They are very, very powerful, very, very difficult to control due to the aerodynamics of the car, and have very little amounts of downforce, making it very difficult, if you consider the word very there, just really to actually keep it on all 4 wheels on the tarmac at one point. But not only that, but to win a race and lead a race and defend a race. 3 very different things, so much applause to these drivers here today, giving it their all. Taking this 2011 Formula Renault 3.5 car out and attacking the Watkins Glen circuit. And they really have been attacking it. That's been the key word there. 192 miles an hour top speed from 0 to 60 in just 2 seconds. These cars truly are beasts and really underrated as well. 480 brake horsepower. And it really is an unquestionable attacking monster. But back to the front of the field, Darren C is still struggling to catch Dijkema at the moment. There's still a lot of time. 5 more laps to go, including this one. He's 0.7 seconds away, so he does have a bit of a margin to get. But as we say, he's within that 1 second threshold. He should be able to pick up a slipstream at some point. Apologies there, just had some technical difficulties, but what I'll do next time is actually compare the lap times of our 2 race leaders. Darren still very much in the hunt for this race victory, of course, and Dijkema gets that all wrong, and that could allow Darren to just really start to eke away now and chop away at those tenths of seconds and just really start to put a drive on. A bit of oversteer through there as well, so not like he's having too much of a fun time out there. He's really battling with that car. And the gap did come down though due to Dijkema's recent error, so he does need to be careful about that. Back onto the straight again, however. So 131.7 from Darren, a 132 flat from Dijkma. So that is a huge deficit. And already you can really see now that he is gaining. He's starting to really pull away at him and attack him with those body punches. So we'll see what he can do now as they go up towards the chicane once again. And through that right-hander, and they go down the chute now towards that left-hand corner. Such a difficult one to get right when the car's rolling downhill. Now, the best analogy to really describe this corner there they've just gone through would be if you roll a remote control car down it, or you put a remote control car at the top of the hill, and then you just start holding the up arrow on your D-pad, or you push it forward, and watch how fast it picks up pace. Then press the brakes. It does not go normally. It will veer to the left. It will veer the opposite direction. The rear tyres will lock due to the pressure. And these rear-wheel drive 2011 cars are no different. When you go down through the chute, a corner which really does shoot you down into the next section of the circuit, it will kick back at you. It will not be a smooth ride. It's not a roller coaster. It is more like a train ride from hell as you try and get that car straightened up. It will throw everything at you, oversteer, rear wheels lock in, front wheels lock in. It will do everything it can. And again, and something else which just makes this circuit so special. But another lap completed, and another lap where Darren T has not been able to really gain on Dijkma. That gap's been back and forth at about a second for the past 3 or 4 laps now. I say 3 or 4, that may be under describing it. It could be the last 5 or 6. Since Dijkma's taken the lead, these two have been relatively close together. And unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to muster up the momentum to make a pass, or even get close enough to have a look at making a pass. It's been very quiet for him, and just really following in his wake. As they decide to come back up the hill now, Dijkma is in a bit of trouble actually. He's again made another mistake. The second time he's done it through that corner. Can he hold on though? Because right now Darren's looking in a much better position. And he looked to the inside there, and no, Dijkma is able to close the door, realising the apex is way too tight to make anything through there. They're going to start the penultimate lap in just a moment's time. Here we go then. Dijkma still though, through that final section, gains even more time. Oh, the inside! And that is a very late move. I'm wondering actually, what happened to Dijkma? Because I was right on board. Did he simply break out the way and move, or did Darren Cease just misjudge a corner? He shot through the inside quicker than a professional darts player in a competition. And out of nowhere, Dijkma's down to second. He's lost over half a second now back to him. He's about 7 tenths away. Yes, he is 7.9 tenths of a second away. With a lap and a half to go, was that really the right call to move out of the way? Or was that a human error due to the unpredictable characteristics of this car? Either way, Darren C is now the leader of your race, and he's only got himself just a few more turns until he starts that final lap and then begins his road to victory, quite literally. How this pans out, we don't know yet. Two more corners. And now we start the final lap of the day, and Darren C, oh, it's Dijkma behind. He's in the pits almost. That was a very close scare. He lost it on the final corner. The car veered to the right. By the time he steered left and realised it, he was about a millimetre away from the pit wall. You could not get closer if you tried. Even a worm would be turned up against that wall. There was that little between them. You could not fit anything else there. Very close shave for Dijkma, and a close shave which may have cost him the lead off this race and possibly a victory. So here we are then, just really a few more seconds until we find out who the winner of this race is going to be. It's looking like it's going to be Darren C, but obviously we don't want to call the shots too soon. There is such a thing as a commentator's curse, and I really wouldn't want to be the one to inflict it. Especially not this late on in the race either, but as the race just crosses the 15-minute mark. Okay, through the final corner he comes in, and Darren C is able to hold on. He's weaving in glory. He's so happy with that one. Darren C is a winner in the Simraceway Sunday race-off. Dijkman comes across in second. 340 Super is going to come in third. Big result there for him. Supercar 1 fourth, Master Rocco 5th. Then out of the race will be Firefall. Then we got Pekarayan in 7th, 8th place for Victorious. And they round out your field for today. But what a sterling job by our race winner, Darren C. Stuck with Dijkman the whole time, never gave up the fight. And in return, it's got him on victory lane. What a great moment it is for him. 340 Supers across the line. Supercar 1 will be in just a few moments. And then, of course, Master Rocco as well. So don't forget, we've still got a few more races for you here tonight, so don't go anywhere. The action is only just beginning. From myself, Liam Jenkins, we'll see you shortly.
limiter is off. Speed limiter is off. is off.
Hello everybody and welcome to a very special Simraceway Sunday race-off. Qualifying is underway for the third race of the 5 tonight here at Watkins Glen. Now, it is an event which almost marks the 1-year anniversary to which the Sunday race-off started. An event which, when I first commentated, I never knew how big it would grow. I know it would be big, but I didn't realise it would be this big. So on behalf of everyone here at Simraceway, I want to say thank you for making this possibly one of the greatest years of my life. It's been a true honour and a pleasure to commentate for you all, and I really hope this series continues into the very long distant future and we have plenty more racing moments like we've seen throughout the last year. When you look back at the Sunday race-off and you think of how many fantastic, breathtaking moments we've seen, how many times you've been on the edge of your seat or you've knocked your drink over out of excitement. Is that just me? Okay then. But the point remaining that this series has been absolutely brilliant. It showcased the best of the best and sometimes even the best of Dancing Eyes. But the point is, it has been an awesome event and a great idea for you guys to get involved. If you haven't been involved yet or you still haven't had the chance to get involved and want to, then head over to simraceway.com, go on the forums and be sure to get yourself involved. It's a free-to-play game if you don't have it already. Free content, all the tracks are free. You get some free basic cars as well, so off the bat you'll be able to go straight into the Evo Sunday race-off, and you may even make yourself in towards this spotlight as well, so who knows. But when it comes to here then, 4 minutes 48 seconds left here at Watkins Glen for this qualifying session. It's in Garnish that leads at the moment, Lionheart 88 in second, WTTN in third place. We got a new man actually in PC, I haven't seen him before, it's Zepaquenu, which is a bit of a tongue twister to pronounce actually. We'll call him Zeppy I think, just for short, to stop me tongue twisting during when he's in a battle. Devil Bev in P5, Flaren 89 in 6th, Andy Bob 7th, Brock Landers D in 8th, Clark 10 there in P9, the Dark Stig in 10, No Fear C 11th, and they round out your runners with Belinas in P12. So the drivers starting to set laps, and the most laps has been completed actually by Zeppy, Devil Bevan and Brock Landers. Those three drivers who are also right next to each other in the standings have all done 4 laps each, so they've had the most track time out there, the most practice, the most time to get used to the car. So in these final 3 minutes and 40 seconds then, the question is, who's going to be able to make the most of it? Flaren 89, maybe not. He's moving out of the way and letting other cars through. Has he got a problem, or is he just letting faster guys through? I think it was the latter, as he rejoins the circuit and looks to rebid his authority on this qualifying session. As we say, he's 8th at the moment, so he's still got quite a long hill to climb. But even so, as he... Nice, breaking through there. He did look up that left rear, I believe, but hasn't stopped him from what has possibly been a good lap. He needs to find 600th of a second to get in front of Brock Landers. And now the best part of this session is as well, we always seem to get some surprise results right at the very end. We may just make it another one very shortly. Lionheart 88 is just over a 100th of a second actually now behind Engange. So not a 10th of a second, not even a second, just 100th faster than you can blink your eye is what is separating these two guys at the moment. Very, very close and tense times. Both of them also out on the circuit. Lionheart encountering traffic there. That's No Fear C, who's that's our cameraman actually, so I believe he's just taking a little break perhaps. So yeah, No Fear C. Now let's get his perspective then. Oh, bad time to join him as he goes into the wall, but even so, you can blame him. Have a little shot of racing, why not? Engange still P1 at the moment. The gap's still 100th of a second, but back to WTTN. It is about 3.5 tenths. So there is a bit of leeway between the two drivers. And a bit further down the field, obviously, the gaps extend the further you go down, and we've got a gap there of 1.6 seconds back to Brock Landers. So Brock's got a bit of work to do if he wants to work his way up this field. It's not going to be all easy at all. He's got quite the task, as we've proven earlier. Not just the track, but the other cars as well.
Speed limiter is off.
The session's about to run out then. There's not much in the way of time remaining. If you take a look at the current positions, and I'll run you through the order. It's Ngan first, Lionheart second, WTTN third, fourth, seventh, Devin. Fifth place is Andy Bob, sixth place is Zeppi, as you like to call him after having possibly the most creative Simraceway Sunday race of the name. Clark 10 there in P7, Brock Landers in 8th, Claren 89 is leaving the pit lane to start his 6th lap of the day in P9. 10th place is Bolinas, the Dark Stick 11th, and No Fear C, who's, I'm not sure if he's going to be entering the race or no, but he's currently P12. So only 18 seconds left then before that final buzzer's going to go and the session's going to come to an end. Clark 10 stopped out on the circuit, so that's his session already come to an end. No, you need a buzzer there, do you? That's his session ended more than quickly. And let's see what Nganj can do then, because right now he needs to get himself some sort of leeway. Lionheart's still out on the circuit. Also in clean air as well. He's going to go down that chute in just a second now. Get the car to the right hand side of the circuit. Flick it back left. It's going to be interesting. Let's take a look back at Nganj first though, because he's the man closest to finishing his lap. He's just got a few more corners to go now. 2 in fact, as he enters the penultimate one now. Almost flat through there. Barely a lift at all. And now straight down the line he goes. Let's take a look. Doesn't extend his time. Lionheart going through that same sequence of corners now. He's going to hit the penultimate in just a moment. Catches the curb nicely. And again, oh, flat through there. Nice early lift. Then get the power on. Up to 160 before that final corner. And then now going to start coming across the start-finish line. Can he do it right at the end? He does. He does it. Lionheart is on pole. What a lap. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. Anything can happen. And in almost a year anniversary of the Simraceway Sunday race-off, that is what to expect. The unexpected. We'll be back shortly with the full race.
Speed limiter is off.
So here we go then. It's come down to this. 20 seconds left until those 4 lights illuminate and we get 15 laps of racing here at the Glen. Question is, who will be the man leading the charge come the end of it? Will Lionheart 88 be able to retain that momentum he got from right at the end of this qualifying session? Or will it be doom and gloom? Let's find out now as the lights go red.
Green flag, hit it!
Away, and a big start there by Lionheart and Ganjo pulling right alongside. We got Carnage in the backfield, 4 final cars involved. WTTLM won there with a big issue. As they stream down, everyone is trying to work it out. Oh my goodness me, what's happened there? It's Spa 98 all over again. The Dark Snakes involved at turn number 1. Brock Landers, I think, as well. I think a lot of people trying to campaign for a restart. WTTLM facing the wrong way at the pit straight. I'm not sure he's going to get one or not. I think the race is going to continue actually. So a very tense first lap then. Still sees Lionheart take control of the lead at this stage. He's on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th belonging to Andy Bob, Devil Bevin, Zeppi and No Fear C. They punt it off. No Fear C gets swarmed into the wall. Hanuman's there in P8. And both of those cars just had no control once the impact was made. Oh, that felt like a sumo wrestler. Just getting a fight with a lanky teenager. That was never going to end well. The force behind that punch. I say punch, it was more of a punt really, but utterly devastating effect. So a lot of the cars here, it's a 15-lap race. It's a good 25 minutes. And already, a lot of the cars will be making their first journey to pit road after just 1 lap. So things have not gone well at the start of lap number 2. The lead remains unchanged. It's still Lionheart from Engange, from Devil Bevin, from Andy Bob. The gap between Lionheart and Engange is 2 seconds. It's still not that much. There's still definitely time to improve on this. The question is, I suppose, though, is that can anyone actually do the job and perhaps catch Lionheart before it's too late? Because the amount of action on pit road, No Fear C's off and he's been lapped. We've got WTTNM pulling into the pit lane now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, no, 5 cars on pit road out of the entire runners. So a vast amount of cars there who are struggling at this stage. It'll be interesting to see how this actually fares up a bit later on. 3.3 seconds of gap. Lionheart is pulling away, and that qualifying momentum has stayed on his side. The last gasp charge to pole position, and it's going to be a first gasp to a win potentially. As we take a look, though, quickly through the field and see what's going to be going on there with Zeppi, the man in P5. He started there as well. Now got himself a big chance here to maybe make a move on Andy Bob for P4 down in towards the chicane. Let's see what he can do. He's going to try and pull to the inside, is he? Yes, he does. Andy Bob does not encourage the defensive manoeuvre there. He actually backs off, brakes way earlier to avoid contact after knowing maybe firsthand how treacherous those curbs can be. Zeppi up to P4, about a second away from Devil Bevin at this stage, so still more than plenty to play for, and we'll have to wait and see as a yellow flag out, and that is still for No Fear C there. That's why the marshals were waving the yellows. But as we come towards the end of lap number 3 then, and just looking at what Lionheart's doing, he's down to P7. We've had a bit of an incident now with Lionheart, I think. No, you haven't. I'll tell you what, that is a complete lie. My telemetry had a bit of an error. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there's no damage. I would have surely lost my lungs by now if Lionheart did commit an error, but a lot of the field are bunched up, and this does make it difficult because the drivers who are in that bunch, they're in such a muddle. The fact that half of them are lapped, half of them are trying to chase down for position, makes it very difficult for the lap cars to A, get out of the way, or B, the cars who aren't lapped to move out of the way. And now flat out down the straight there for the Dark Stig. Every driver's still in this though. That is an interesting fact. And I tell you what, man, who is on a charge right now? Zeppy Queenu. As he looks to the inside, it'll be Zeppity Doodah, Zeppity Day. As he tries to attack Devil Revin right now, and he's in such a good situation. Could not really ask for much better than this. Oh, but he's knocked him though. Hit that rear wing, and that's not going to help. But somehow pulls along the outside, so very impressive. Despite momentum really not being on his side after the contact, he somehow still pulled out the bag, got the move done round the outside very early on. And in turn gets up to P3, so Zeppy in his debut race in a podium position. So he starts lap number 5 in P3, so what a start this has been for him. He really has taken it to the best of levels, and you can really see him being a factor in perhaps one of the highest skill quants later on. He's already achieved quite a lot, but I've got a feeling that give this man about a couple of months and he could very well be at the absolute top of his game. So Zeppy is only actually 9 seconds away at this stage, 3.6 away from Inganj, 9 from the leader. Inganju's 5 away from the leader at this stage as he falls away into the sunset right now. The driver's still in that massive... Oh, and Flaren 89! The first driver of the day to lose a wheel, in fact. He's hobbling along. In fact, he's lost a wheel, a rear wing, and a front wing. I think he's got more parts off the car than on it. He's parked alongside No Fear C. I think that's the end of his race. That'll be a first retirement. 2 cars at one corner. It's starting to shape up like the Nürburgring in 2007, where in the wet weather all the drivers ended up crashing at the same corner. But Flaren pulls over. I think that could very well be race over. He'll struggle to get it out. If he does, he's going to be a hazard to others. But he drives it straight back into the Armco. There's no way you can turn a car with 3 wheels, despite the want of trying, however. But Lionheart still leads then 6.1 seconds and still 9 from Zeppy. So Zeppy's gaining. But is it going to be enough? Who knows? Maybe too early to judge just yet. There's still plenty of action to come. Only just over a third of the way into this race. So these drivers still going to be giving it a bit later on. So 7 seconds is now the gap, and as the cars come down there, it's another yellow flag, and Brock Landis is in the pits, so that is our first stop of the, I'll say mid-race, and we've got Flaren 89 still hobbling around, so he really is trying to give it his all there today in P8 at the moment. He will not go down. He'll go down swinging, if anything. And by swinging, I think it may be his pit crew swinging at him, because trying to drive that car around must be breaking their hearts right now. 3 wheels, no rear wing, no front wing, and he is doing everything and he possibly can to get through, but he's struggling. He's off the track and into the wall again. Still not stopping him though. He's there, he's at the final corner, he's made it home. And he's not lost either. WTTN M1 is still 34 seconds down the road despite all of that. So there's still a race on our hands for that final top 10 position. I say that actually as WTTN just goes past the pit lane and overtakes him. The Dark Stig does exactly the same thing, and now he really is the last man on the field. The race leader, the gap between the two of them. Oh, Engan is off, he's in the wall! Engan just lost his front wing, and that is coming out of turn number 7. Straight into the wall, very easily done as you descend now. He's locked both. Oh, look at that, look. No downforce, both tyres are locked, and that promotes Zeppi Queno into second. What a start this has been for Zeppi to his Sunday race-off career. Looking at approaching half race distance in a minute, and what a tremendous achievement it's been so far for Zeppi. Surely it's only going to get better as time goes on for him. He's really looking like he's going to be the future of the Simraceway Sunday race-off if things keep going his way. So as we take a look, a quick rundown through the order then. So it's Lionheart that leads, Zeppi Queno P2, Anibal in 3rd still, Devil Bevan in 4th, Engage P5 as Bellinus pits in. Brock Landers P6, Clark 10 in 7th, 8th place is Honeyman, 9th place there for WTTN M1, 10th place for the Dark Stig, 11th for Bellinus, 12th Flower 89, and 13th and out of the races are Cameraman No Fear C. But I wouldn't write Zeppi off for a victory just yet. We're just over halfway through the race. 11 seconds behind, 11 seconds in 7 laps is very accomplishable. Especially at a track like this where drivers can be prone to error. Well, even if they aren't prone to error, the track will be trying to make as many errors as possible, and that's going to be a big factor here today. We've already seen it already. I think Dancing on Ice may have taken on a new name there in terms of dancing in a minefield, because the amount of cars which have been losing rear wings and here, there and everywhere has been quite frightening. As Bellinus receives a stop and go, provisionally I'm assuming that's for leaving the pit lane and speeding. Yeah, he needs the pits now, so that will be for speeding in the pit lane as far as I am aware. Unfortunate there for Bellinus. He can't really get a break today. He's tried, but it just maybe hasn't been his day. But still half the race to go, which means people's fortune can change. Never over till it's over, you never know. He may spring up out of somewhere to take a victory, or maybe even take a podium position. And as these Formula 3.5 engines roar into life, the insane amount of horsepower that these things can actually handle in their little engines is truly phenomenal. It does look like, something which may not carry the speed it does, but for a Formula Renault 3.5 car to do 192 mile an hour with 480 horsepower, it really is fantastic. And Bellinus comes in again, so that's for the stop and go. Let's take a look at him there. Quick run through of the order then. Lionheart in P1, P2 is still Zeppi, now 11.5 seconds, so those last 2 laps he hasn't really been able to capitalise. P3 is Andy Bob, so a big run there for Andy. P4 Devil Bevin, P5 for Brock Landers. P6 will be Clark 10. 7th for Honeyman, 8th place is WTTNN. 9th for the Dark Stig, 11th Bolinas, and 12th place and out of the race is Flaren. Although I think he's still trying to move, he's gradually rolling down the pit lane at a very slow rate. So slow, in fact, I think an army of snails may just finish the race quicker than he can at the moment. But having said that, he does have just 3 wheels on there, so not really the most ideal position for him to be in. An unfortunate end to the race as well. But Lionheart's managed to traffic very well here today. He's done a very good job at pushing his way through. He's not really hesitated that much. He hasn't been buckling to pressure or forcing people to move out of the way. It's all gone very, very swell for him. 11.3 seconds now in front of Lionheart. And the gap just seems to keep on going upwards, if anything. It's not hitting that 10-second mark at all. And Zeppi may just be thinking of settling for second here. He's only got himself a few more laps left. There's no real need to push. You've got P2 in your debut. There's only one position you could get more. But when you've got Lionheart that far in front, there's no real charge at all. You need to be at a big advantage here before you try something risky. And I don't think that the risk warrants a reward at the moment. 11 seconds of hard driving in these things is a very difficult thing to do. And 11 seconds of just driving these things is difficult to do. So when you're pushing over your limit and you're thinking non-stop about how to improve and trying to improve the way you enter corners, get your foot down faster, change your lines so you come out of the corner faster, that's when the errors come. And at the moment, with only a few laps remaining, it's not worth risking that, trying to push yourself as hard as you can, focusing on being quicker, because it won't work and you're going to lose more time, and it's already paying dividends. 12.02 seconds is the gap now. So Lionheart is pulling away further, and I think now Zeppi must surely just try and settle for second place for now. Maybe try again next week, see if he can get a win, but I can't really see this turning into anything more. So, if just a handful of laps remaining now. And still the yellow flag remains, we've still got a car off, but surprisingly, despite the high amount of cars that have been flying off left, right and centre and losing their front wings, losing their wheels, hitting Farron 89, but the attrition rate is still relatively low. We've only got a couple of DNFs, which means the rest of the drivers are still running very strong at the Glen at this stage in the anniversary edition that marks 1 year of the Simraceway Sunday race-off. And just look at how far we've come from having just maybe 1 race or 2 races a night to having 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 races. Skill quant's been introduced to see drivers really give it their all and be matched now against drivers of their own skill ability, meaning that we're gonna see a lot closer racing. Still some big cash prize rewards. We've seen some fantastic car and track combinations over the past few months, and we really could not wish for a better audience than you guys as well. It's been, as I said earlier on in the introduction, a great honour commentating this Sunday race-off, and I really can't wait for to see what the future holds. So Lionheart still then with an 11.6 second lead. He can't seem to shake it more than that at the moment. Still 11.6. There's not much he can do. It's staying on lap 13, isn't it? So across the line goes Lionheart for the penultimate time today then. What, 2 more times after this and he will be potentially your winner. The gap now 13.5 seconds. Not really much Zeppy can do from this position, and Andy Bob a further 13 seconds back. With Devil Bevin 30 overall. Brocklanders P5, Hanuman in P6 still with Clark 7 not that far behind. There could be a battle forming there. Those guys about 0.9 seconds apart at this, right? WTTN still a bit far away to play a factor into that one. He's about 9.5 seconds away from those two. So Clark 10, of course, is a lap down to Lionheart, as is Hanuman's P7, P6 battle, but in all honesty, these guys have got a big chance now to put on a big display. As they know, time's running out. They're a lap down, the checkered flag's coming in about 2.5 minutes. They need to try and get something going. They're under a second apart. Can Clark 10 get closer? Let's take a ride on board and just listen to what this engine sounds like when it's under pressure, when you're fighting with another car, when you're dogfighting, trying to get that slipstream. What does this Formula Renault sound like? And there's your answer, downshifting through the gears as he comes up and towards the last few corners once again. Watkins Glen International, that has played such a vital role in motor racing history over the past 100 years or so, and now about to play a vital role in Simraceway history. It was where the first ever Sunday race-off was held, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. It's insane how far we've come, and insane how far the drivers have come as well. And Lionheart 88 is just moments away from being crowned the next winner at Watkins Glen. The track which, apart from Sonoma, whereas the obvious home of Simraceway, this track's like a home away from home. You know, where the drivers, they know the prestigiosity of this circuit. They know what's at stake when they come here, and the reputation that rides with it. It's the Monte Carlo of the Simraceway Sunday race-off. The track where every driver wants to win at. It is so prestigious, and the amount of drivers who've gone on to do great things after winning this event is truly staggering. And it looks to me like it's going to be a win today for Lionheart 88 as he comes through the final corner now. What an event he's had today. And he's thoroughly deserving it. He's lowering. He goes to the pit wall to go at his pit crew. Fist pumping in the air. He crosses the line. A winner in the Sunday race-off. A great victory. He'll be so happy with that one. You can see him really, really elated there. Zepiqueno. Sorry, but I think Zepiqueno is going to be my driver of the day. To come through that amount of carnage. To overtake as well. P2. Can't argue with that one. Very, very good performance on a debut as well, in a situation with a tracking car as difficult as this. He's done a good job, Zepiqueno. You want to watch that space for him. He could be coming through soon. Andy Bob third, Devil Bevin in fourth. Brocklanders will be P5. Hanuman will be P6 when he crosses the line in just a moment. Well, it should be now. He will be Hanuman to the line. So Clark 10 can't get there in time. WTTNN. It will be P8 when he crosses the line now. The Stark Stig in P9. Bolinas P10. Ingant and Flaren have retired. And that rounds out the race. So don't forget, we've still got a few more races coming up for you, including the Mitsubishi Evo race. So you won't want to miss that. Don't go anywhere.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
even more time. Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying for what could be one of the biggest EVO events of the year when it comes to the Simraceway Sunday race-off. And over the past year or so, we've seen some brilliant Mitsubishi EVO events, haven't we? We've seen some thrills, spills, and just about everything in between. And now they're back here at where it all started, here right at Watkins Glen, where we've seen some of the greatest drivers to ever grace the Mitsubishi EVO on Simraceway in the past 12 months. Back here once again, guys like Van Panther, guys like B1386, Gargoware, Luke Sky, Ragster, all of these guys who may not have been there from the very start but have made such great impact when they've been inside the car that none of that really matters. All that matters is where they're positioned on the track, and that they're giving us some of the finest touring car racing in all of sim racing. So we got 5 minutes left in the qualifying session at the moment. Taking a look at the standings, it is currently Van Panther who's the fastest man, the man to beat. And looking down the field, the man in 10th place at the moment is only 1.036 seconds away from the leader. So the top 10 separated by just over a second. That is a staggering feat. So a massive hats off to every single person in this race at the moment. Now, we've seen this all through the year with the EVOs, that they do get ridiculously close. They are very competitive cars. That because they're all obviously fixed setup and these cars aren't designed for the road or the oval courses, they do struggle, and it's very difficult to find time when you can't push a car over its limit. As it's like a road car, it only has a certain amount of speed. It's only got a certain amount of horsepower it can utilise. It can only go so far into corners. You're only going to get so much understeer and oversteer out of the thing. And if you're an oversteer driver, you may suffer. If you're an understeer driver, you may suffer. And that is what makes it so even. Everyone's at a level playing field. No one's at an advantage. And it really does separate the men from the boys to see drivers waltz into Watkins Glen and take a pole position. So a massive well done there to Van Panther at the moment. If he can keep hold of this, it's been a great job for him so far, as we've said. So then, as we say, not long left in the session, a total of 2 minutes 24. A quick run through of the order. It is currently Van Panther on pole, as we said, then Ragster, then Merger 88, then Arceo 72, then B1386 there in P5. P6 currently belongs to Luke Sky, number 80. Johnny D sits in P7. 8th place is Wild 7. 9th is Gargoware. 10th, Evil Knievel. 11th, Mr. PA, and they round out your runners with 2 drivers still yet to set times, now Senor and Jekyll 66. So we've still got 1 minute 48 there, and that is enough time for these drivers to be setting times. And interestingly enough, I've just noticed that these Evos are setting quicker times than the Formula 3.5s were, in fact. Very interesting. I mean, the Formula 3.5s are on a 130-ish. 130, 132s, that sort of area. 126 from Van Panda. That is a very quick time. And as we say, almost quicker than those Formula Renaults. So good news there for the Evo drivers. They've got the faster of the two cars here today. Bit of a position change there as Arceo moves up into P5. Mergy is now P3. D13 still sitting in between them there in 4th at the moment. "52 seconds remaining then, as we said, the most laps of the day currently gone to Van Panther, the man at the top. Right, and just an update as well, these drivers as to why they're going quicker is because they are running the short layout of the circuit, which means they don't go down the chute at the end. It does just loop straight round, and that is where they're gaining those 4 seconds. So apologies for that one there. That was my error. They are running the short layout of Watkins Glen. So to avoid any confusion, they're not quicker than a Formula 3.5. If you put the two in a straight line, I think it's fairly obvious who would win. So unfortunately, there is no confusion there. They're gaining the extra time because they're running the short layout of the Watkins Glen circuit. But though the session's going to come to a close, the checkered flag is out. Van Panther seemingly going to take the pole position here. He's still on a lap at the moment as well. Mergy is in the pits from P2. Ragster P3 is in as well. Arceo is the next man who could be really in position to maybe take one. Johnny D P7's out as well. Wild 7's going to cross the line from P9. He's just been knocked off there by Johnny D. Can he get back up to 8th position where he was? Not quite. He stays 9th. And now Arceo 72 is going to get towards the end of his lap as well. Will he improve? No, he doesn't. He stays P5. So that just about brings an end to the qualifying session as drivers made their way back to the pit lane. Jekyll 66 isn't done though. He will be done now. Where will he end up? 13th. He goes last, 2.8 seconds away from our leader. So Van Panther is the man who takes the pole position here. 2.8 seconds clear of 13th place Jekyll 66. Very, very close grid. Let's see how they shape up when it comes to the race, however. We've still got plenty of time left yet. Arceo 72 is making his way back to the pit lane. Johnny D, though, he still hasn't got his time. He does now. And he stays in the same position. So that does bring us to the end of the session. We'll be right back with you for the race. So hello everybody, welcome back then. This is it, it's Judgment Day for the Evo drivers, some of the greatest skilled drivers in all of Simraceway to run side by side, door to door with other drivers for about 25 minutes. Is a great skill, and it really does take some balls of steel, as the saying goes, to really wrestle these cars around the circuit. It's demanding as Watkins Glen as well. The question is, can anyone knock Van Panther off his perch, or is he going to cruise to victory here? Let's find out as we await the arrival of the 4 red lights. We've got 2, we've got 3, there's the 4th, and now we have a race here at Watkins Glen. What a launch by B1386, immediately overtaking Ragster. He's going to get Mercier as well. Can he get Van Panther though? That's the thing, that is going to be a big game for him into turn 1, and the 3 red Evos made their way through. But what a game for our race leader, Van Panther. B1386 with the biggest start of anyone, up to 2nd from 4th. Huge gain there for him. That was absolutely critical to his outgoing in the race. He really couldn't ask for a better start than that. Van Panther still in the lead there. That is more important to him. And as they stream now towards that chicane for the first time today, no contact from any car as of yet, which again is very important. Can they keep it that way, or are we going to see our first incident? They pop over the curbs. Still looking fairly clean. No one's really made a hash of it just yet. As they make their way down, sorry, I just unfortunately dropped my mouse so you couldn't see, but there's a movement going on in that backfield as well. Van Panther with a 0.8 second gap now compared to the rest of the field. He is pulling away, and he is doing it quickly. And that's what you need to do. It's very difficult to pull away in the Mitsubishi Evo, so a lot of drivers will completely agree with you on that. So at the end of lap number 1, B13 up to 2nd. Luke Scott could be losing 3rd there to Mercier. As Mercier looks to the inside there at turn number 1, they braking manoeuvre, locks the brakes, and it's going to allow surely Luke to be able to retain that position. Indeed it does. So Luke Sky's still the man in P3, still the man with the money, essentially, and he's got a big train building up behind him and still no contact. Great job, great start by these drivers so far. And now as they make their way down to the chicane again, let's watch them all go through. Bit of movement in the back there was Jekyll, I think, looking for a move if anything. Unfortunately the move didn't come off though, so it was cut short. And now look at Johnny D as well with Ragster side by side. Ragster's looking for position. Up the inside he goes, that's for P6. Signed, sealed, delivered, and that is in your post box. Ragster takes it. Although Johnny D's fighting back, he won't get the line he needs, however. And now onto the main straight, and Johnny D almost went to the outside. He's trying it. Who can blame him either? Couldn't quite get it to go though. Start of lap 3, and there are more drivers off the track there than on it at some point. But first and second pulling away, 1.6 from Van Panther back to B13. But then the rest of the drivers are really keeping him close company. There's been a bit of a crash, I think. I heard the sound of clanging metal. Who was it though? Must have been Gargo at the very back of the field, but can't really see it too much unless it was just a little nudge. But over the chicane, Gargo where goes. He's trying to chase down Jekyll at the moment. Still one massive train there, isn't there? They will not relent up. And now Wild 7 in the slipstream of Johnny D looks to the inside, which will be the outside for the next corner. And now ducks the car back underneath. Although he hasn't been able to make it stick, and Johnny D's left to his own devices right at the front of the field there. And in towards turn number 1 again. Bit of contact up front. That was Luke Sky, I think, and Mercier. Those guys been battling hard, and now Arkea wants a bit of the action. Going to go round the outside. We're putting the inside for the next bit off the circuit, of course. They come up through the S's. And up to the top of the hill. But look at that, Luke Sky. Some brave defending there. Said earlier on it takes balls of steel. I think that may take even more. So really great job by all the drivers so far. Van Panther still leading though. B13 still second. Third place is Mercier 88. Fourth place Luke Sky. Fifth place Arkeo. I believe we got a bit of a penalty there. Unfortunately, experiencing again some technical difficulties. I'll do my best to keep you guys updated as to what's going on around the Glen at the moment. We know for a fact that it's still Van Panther that leads. It is still B13 and P2, and the rest of the field trying to scramble for positions all the way down. That big train just keeps getting bigger. Even right at the back of the field, the guys keep increasing their pace. They keep being able to match the guys up front, which is what makes this EVA race so entertaining to watch and so entertaining to commentate.
the final lap. Keep it going.
Hello everybody and welcome back live to the Simraceway Sunday race off. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the qualifying session. It's Simraceway who currently leads the way on a day which marks the year anniversary here of the Sunday race off. We're so close to it right now, and what a year it's been. Absolutely brilliant when it comes to racing here today, and the venue which started it all, Watkins Glen, of course. I'm sure we're going to get provided with some excellent racing here today as well. So man at the top of the board is Simraceway, Michigan second, Elite Speedway in third. Jamie 1 sits in fourth, Lolin Fox in fifth place, Bandito sits in sixth. He's followed by Lounger in P7. And just behind in eighth place there is Daniel C, AGO 6. Still yet to set a time there in P9. Daniel C missing out on seventh place by just 0.3 of a second as it just moved up there. But I'll tell you what, it is a very, very interesting session this as well. I know I've said this all night, but what a way to host a year's anniversary of a Simraceway Sunday race-off. We've seen thrills, spills, and just about everything else a racing fan could possibly want to see in a Simraceway Sunday race-off. And now, almost 50 events later, almost a year later, we're back here at the venue which spawned it all, that started a revolution, that started the new era of driving here at Simraceway. The skill quant system came in and it was truly welcomed by the fan base. And the rest is just history. The Jamie 1 crosses the line, goes up to P3. That leaves him with a bit of work to do. There's 4 minutes to go, but even so, P3 and only 2/10 off of Simraceway. Can't really complain with that one at all, can you? Very, very respectable feat indeed. We'll see if anyone else can get close. You've got Elite Speedway there. Zedian's got a wheel that's not working apparently, so he may miss the race. He may use a keyboard. I can't see him being overly kicked with the keyboard. There's one man, a certain Dimitris Giannopoulos, that does use the keyboard. And is very, very quick with it indeed. And I just wanted to say a quick apology as well to a mistake I must have made earlier on. I was looking through the YouTube comments on the stream. I apparently was pronouncing the Dagmar's name wrong, so apologies for that one, Dagmar. I will sort that one out for you next time I see you race. And then that way we know you got the pronunciation right there. With 3 minutes left to go, Michigan still barely anything away from Simraceway. He's just a few tenths of a second, if that. He's actually 0.178 seconds away, so not that much at all. He still has a bit of work to do, of course, but it's definitely achievable from his current position. And as now Michigan comes through the final corner, let's just see then how quick he'll go. He's going to come over the line now. Is this going to be quick? Will it be pole? It is! He's beat him! 0.04 of a second. The fight to Simraceway now has begun. This is very, very big here today. This is a venue which saw a certain anxiety make a name for himself. Simraceway has won here countless times before. This is his turf. And for Michigan to come in here today and do that, I said earlier on that this man keeps on improving. He keeps upping his game, upping his tempo, and one day he will make the big time. It seems he's made it already. And now looking at Paul, but no, Asa takes it back by 100, well, just under a tenth of a second. Simraceway fights back. This is going to be a very intriguing session, I can tell you that for now. And he quickly there warms off, the tyres just squeezes himself down. And Michigan's actually stopped there. Take a look at him, he's lost his front wing. That's the very corner we saw No Fear Seagull earlier on, and a couple others as well. That is coming off of the chute, and just before you spear yourself back up the hill, very easy to lose it. Very tight corner indeed. So is that his session over then? We do have 57 seconds left. It is. He won't get another lap in, that's for sure. And now with AG06 just getting himself through the final corner. He's currently P7. We'll see if he'll maybe be able to put a better time on the board, get himself a bit higher up. Will he do it? Not this time. Elite Speedway spins off. And that is from P6 actually. So he's back in the pits. His session is now over. So we just have to wait and see what the actual lap times are going to be. Asa O'Connor still on pole. Michigan was unable to match it. He won't match it. Now the only man who's going to beat, I can see reasonably, is going to be Asa O'Connor himself. But Jamie one may have a chance from P3. He's only a tenth of a second away. It is possible. Completely 100% plausible that he can do this. Question is, has he got the pace? Has he got that fire to get it done? Let's take a look. No, he doesn't. He can't improve. The session comes to a close. Bandito still on a lap, as is El Nino. Brenor's in the pits. Sean over the line, no improvement there. But Asa Okola is still yet to finish. Let's take a look first at what Bandito does. Goes 5th. Big improvement there, but Asa Okola, can he improve his current time? Oh, he does by 3/10. Classic Asa Okola there, pulled that right from the bag. And who better to take a one-year anniversary pole position than that man right there. We'll be back very shortly with the full 25-lap race. 50th almost Sunday race off now. We've got a couple more races before, but this is the 1-year anniversary of the Simraceway Sunday race off. Now let's just say if these guys can give us a race in only honourable on such an occasion. The engine starts to roar. Let's wait and see how things go then. Who's going to get away cleanly? Bandito does an 806, hits him. He's off into the wall in the background, but the rest of the field get away cleanly. Big start by Michigan. They're 3-1 into turn 1. Asa O'Connor comes out on top. Michigan cuts back. Bad decision there by Asa. Very uncharacteristic indeed. He loses the lead. He's down to P2. And these Formula Renaults storm through the S's now. Up to the top of the hill and in towards that chicane. This is where you want to watch for incidents. And Michigan right now still... Oh, he's covering the inside so well. Forcing Asa around the long way. Is he going to be able to make it sting? No, he's not. Big defensive manoeuvre there by Michigan. This is going to be the day as well where he perhaps gets his first victory in the Sunday race-off. Exedian and El Nino right at the back there fighting him in P12 and 13 there. But all eyes are on the man right at the front of the field. It's Michigan, then Asa O'Connor, then Jamie 1. Then Lolin Fox, then Lounger there you can see struggling in the back trying to attack Lolin Fox. No, I think he's just lost another position there actually. But you look at the field, stream towards, there's a big move coming there. That was Lounger darting all over the place trying to attack Lolin Fox, but again to no avail. Big stop there indeed. And they are flying right now. They're coming towards the end of lap number 1. And there we go. They all start going across that start-finish line now. And how important this is going to be now for these guys. To try and get a good line going through the S's, you need to get a good slipstream. There's a big group of 4 cars there. Take a ride on board with Sean 24 and listen to how his car sounds as he tries to chase down Bandito. Looks to the inside. And it's a big move. He's done it through the chicane. Very nice bold statement there from Sean 24. He goes up to 8th. So still Michigan who leads at the moment, then Asa O'Connor, then Jamie 1 in 3rd, then Lolin Fox in P4, Lounger still P5, but Asa is not been able to really capitalise on Michigan at the moment. The guy's separated by about 6/10 of a second. But as the trio who lead the field make their way through these last few corners, and take a look guys at the ones who maybe aren't making such a big impact right now. Right, towards the back there, Exedian, who's unfortunately lost at the moment. He would want to get himself in a much higher position, but it will take a lot of work. However, plenty of time to do it in. This is a 25 lap race, anything's possible of course. Exedian now goes flowing up through the S's. Big start there for him right now. He needs to try and get a slipstream is what he really needs to do. As we look towards about the midfield there, he's still at Lounger and Lolin Fox dueling away. Asa now just 0.2 of a second back from Michigan, so he is starting to bring him in now. And this sort of race distance is what you could expect if you ever saw the 3.5 Renault Series. Let's just see what exactly Asa can bring to the table here then. He really is one of the elites in Sim Raceway, countless Sunday race-offs, and if you're going to do a yearly award series, you have to say he may very well be the driver of the year. He's done absolutely stupendous since the very dawn, right here at Watkins Glen, that day when Anxiety came into the series in those BMWs, and Asa just took it to another level. That first race he came in, and everyone knew he was something special, and right now he's just proving that once again today, that there could be a new kid on the block. Just like in MotoGP, where Valentino Rossi may have been surpassed today by Marc Marquez, the future's looking bright. Is the same story here with Michigan? Is Asa O'Connor, the old guard, maybe having to step down? Is Michigan too quick? Or can Acer Acola stop the warpath and bring an end to it? Put in his charge back on for a race victory. We're on lap 4 out of 25 here at Watkins Glen. And Acer Acola wants to give it absolutely everything he's got. Darting to the outside, that's going to be interesting. And no, he thinks better of it. Those curbs are nasty, and Michigan's found out he's got it wrong. Ace is back into the lead. Big, big move. And that could have devastating effects, really, for Michigan. A bit further down the field, Daniel C, Sean and Bandito. The 8th, 7th and 6th in reverse order. Let's see maybe who the big impact driver in that battle is going to be. Bandito looks to be the man who's going to be in the most unenviable position. He's going to chase two very, very talented drivers, I'd say, through the Watkins Glen circuit. It doesn't offer many non-risky passing opportunities. But I tell you what, Jamie 1 has surprised me today. He's a second off of Acer Acola. Now, we all know Jamie's quick. You know, he's got himself some big results in the past. But when you take a look at his race right now, potentially he could be looking at a race win. And again, Jamie 1 has been there from since almost the very start of the Sunday race-offs, competing in everything from the Evos to the B races, right up to these skill quants as it's evolved over time. Again, a very talented driver. He's really willing to give it his all when it comes to being out on the field. And as they make their way down, you take a look at Jamie as well and what his favourite car is. His favourite car actually does belong to technically one of the Formula 1 cars. And don't forget as well, guys, that if you are very excited about Simraceway, there is something very special going on next week to celebrate the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. We've got a very special event, an event which around this time last year saw me make my commentary debut here at Simraceway, and just looking how far we've come since. But the actual event itself saw one winner get a ticket to the Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix event, and seeing how the streams evolved since then has been fantastic. But a very special event about to take place next week with the Circuit of the Americas. But we have to change our attention for the meantime. We've got a battle there, Bandito with Daniel C and Sean 24 as well. That's the battle we were referencing earlier on, but Bandito looking in a much more threatening position right now. Oh, bit of a wiggle there from Daniel C as well. That could have been tricky. And look at now, Michigan and Jamie 1. That's for P2. No, he got close, didn't he? If he got any closer, they may as well be in a open relationship, those two cars. That was ridiculously close. As the rest of them flow through turn 1 sidebar. Oh, I thought they were going to go side by side through the S's then. I was ready to lose my lungs. Daniel C and Bandito, and look at them flow through. Bandito carrying much more speed. He almost on the grass there trying to find a way. Now looks to the inside. This should be a given move, providing he can hit it correctly. And oh, he's made contact, and Daniel C, they both go off. Both of them recover well. Great, masterful, skilling drivers there, but that was a very scary moment for them, and it's going to allow every single driver behind them to gain a much-needed advantage. Lounger's car is out off the race, our first retirement of the day. Acer Acola though, now with a 2.3 second gap back to Jamie 1, 3.4 back to Michigan. He is flying right now. Don't forget, if you log on to your Simraceway account as well, you will see the big Circuit of the Americas theme going on. It's very hard to miss, but it should be an absolute cracking weekend when it comes to racing and what these McLarens are really going to provide, because they truly are some magnificent Formula 1 machines. And to see guys like Acer Acola, like Michigan, go at it for a full race distance around the Circuit of the Americas in those F1 cars is going to be a pleasure to be beheld. But still, Jamie again coming under pressure. He's got himself into P2 due to a Michigan mistake. We've got a battle there forming as well with Elite Speedway and Lolin Fox. And let's see what Elite Speedway can do. Take a look at the onboard here. Let's just listen to that engine roar for a moment when he comes down this straight in towards the chicane. There's the move, 180 miles an hour. It's a big move. Lolin Fox not giving way though just yet, and he's unfortunately had to. That apex slowed him right down. Unfortunately, Lolin Fox has lost that position provisionally. He may very well get it back a bit later on. But for now, it's signed, sealed, delivered. And Asa looks to press on. Talking of pressing on as well, we still talk about Michigan, the pole sitter, who very well could have been. It was Asa McCullough who took the pole in the end. But Jamie just holding second in front of him at the moment in that Formula Renault 3.5. The car, and I've already mentioned this earlier today, but the car which has spanned the careers of some of the future's brightest motorsport stars. Kevin Magnussen, Stoffel Van Dorn, Carlos Sainz Jr., just to name three. Sainz, of course, having raced in the Formula 3 Cup, actually commentated on that race he was in. Brands Hatch 2012, the Formula 3 Cup. Great honour to commentate on a real-life event and to see him progress into these cars, which links very well to Simraceway, since that very car is being roared around the Watkins Glen circuit right now. So a true honour both to see this car represented in real life and in the game as well, but we'll see what Michigan can do. We'll see if he can really put the pressure on Jamie now, because he will have to. He's running out of time here. I know it's a big 25-lap race, but it's very difficult to pass here at the Glen. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows exactly how difficult this circuit is to get anything right, let alone just actually passing, but driving just one lap of this 3.4-mile circuit is very difficult. You've got 11 corners, which constantly challenge a driver in different areas of the racing brain, if you will. You have the elevation changes as one part, tricky apexes is another, high downforce corners is one, you've got corners which tempt you to take more throttle, you've got that when risking to pass, you've got the S's section which really do dare you to run for that extra bit, to push on that bit more, ride the extra bit of apex there. It's a truly magnificent bit of asphalt right here above the Seneca track. And the drivers really making full use of every single inch of it, aren't they, right now? Colin Fox and Sean 24 also locked in battle right now. Sean still trying to put the move on him. He hasn't been able to just yet, but doing absolutely everything in his power to get himself through. And he may just have got it coming off that corner. That's 2 times in a row. Sean is looking dangerous. He passed Bandito last lap and he may have just got that move. Oh, he's got it done. Big move there by Sean 24. We'll see if he can keep up this momentum, because he has been on a warm path. Nine laps in, 25 of the race is what we've got here today. But when you take a look at the absolute carnage which has ensued over some of the previous races tonight, we've seen effectively dancing on ice taken to another level with the amount of pirouettes we've seen here. It's almost like Swan Lake Ballet sometimes, but in this top race today, not a single retirement just yet. Exedian, well, except Lounger, but Exedian had not had a working wheel. He had very limited practice today. His steering wheel was not working. He was struggling before going into qualifying. He wasn't going to know if he was going to come into this race or no. There was a big possibility he would have to sit it out from the pit wall, but lo and behold, Exedian's here racing today, and that just shows the sportsmanship of these guys here in the Sunday race-off. They're relentless. They will not give up. Until that checkered flag falls, they will not stop pushing, not stop tearing up that asphalt until they find that extra hundredth of a second, not stop trying to analyse every single bit of data until they get quicker. They truly are an elite breed of drivers here, and competing for a fantastic prize as well when it goes into part of that prize pool, resembling about $130 today. Still, Michigan and Jamie is the main battle on the circuit. Michigan been very much held up by Jamie 1 here today. Jamie started 3rd position, great launch off the line, 10 laps later finds himself in 2nd position and in a much more enviable position where Michigan is right now. He had a big chance today to take a victory, and that is slowly fading away. The more and more time he spends behind Jamie 1, you can just slowly see that victory fading away. There's not really much he can do from this position except just keep on pushing, keep on vying for that manoeuvre, and just pray that Jamie makes a mistake, because this circuit has claimed some very incomprehensible moments in the past. It has just given us some fantastic racing, both in real life and in the Simraceway Sunday race-off since his debut here. We've seen some great racing here with the Audis, with the BMWs, with the Formula 3s, the Evos. We've seen some brilliant memories here, some brilliant racing memories, and well, I say brilliant for us, for the actual drivers involved, some of them may not have been. But when you take a look at the amount of talent that these guys have as well, it really does just give credit to how close Simraceway does get to the real life counterpart. Having gone through the training of the real Formula 3 car, you can go over to Sonoma. There are countless opportunities to get yourself over to the Performance Driving Centre right in the heart of California with the Sonoma racetrack and experience what it's like to drive a real Mitsubishi Evo like you saw earlier on, and a real Formula 3, the little baby sister of what you're seeing here today. Not only that, but it's the same track where the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series run, where the IndyCar Series run, and it really is a brilliant, brilliant piece of asphalt there as well. And Michigan's made the pass on Jamie up the inside. Jamie went wide. Michigan says thank you very much. Slips underneath. There was no questions asked. He made that look as effortless as going to sleep at night. That was truly brilliant there by Michigan. But now he's got to swap out the offense and bring on the defense. Can he stop Jamie from getting that counter-attack back on right now? Jamie is looking more dangerous than ever in that Formula Renault 3.5. The 2011 car, which takes just 2.2 seconds to get to 0 to 60 when you're in a slipstream as well. Michigan is going to be under some fierce fire today from Jamie 1. These guys have already spent the entire first half of the race battling it out. But I'm sure it's going to continue on for the most part. A bit of a battle forming just behind as well. The trio still hasn't shaken up despite Sean passing both Colin Fox and Bandito. He still can't get his way through. He can't escape. He can't catch Elite Speedway. He's just about 0.7 seconds, 0.707 in front of Lolin Fox at the moment. And Lolin Fox was quicker. In fact, so was Bandito. Bandito and Lolin Fox were quicker than Sean 24 that time round. So despite the emphatic passes that he's been producing all afternoon, he's just not been able to pull away. And that is one of the tricks and trades of what Watkins Glen can offer. It's so difficult to not only pass, but to hold that lead. We'll see what Sean can do as obviously race progresses. We're approaching half race distance now. And obviously Asa O'Connor really making the most of the current situation. 6.6 seconds in front of Michigan right now. Michigan's been kind of left for dust after being battling with Jamie all afternoon, and that is exactly what Asa wanted. Asa was the man who started on pole position. He was the man in control of it. Michigan had a great lunge though. He did. He got himself right in the heart of the action. And unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. He got himself in a bit of a hiccup, really. And Asa O'Connor, being the expert that he is, all he has to do is show his presence there. I've used this saying a fair few times here in the history of the Sunday race-off over the past 12 months or so. But he got himself in a position where he's retained this status as one of these elite drivers where if you're being chased down by Asa O'Connor, you know you're going to get out of the way, and Michigan almost lost control of the car there. But if you're being chased down, it's like you're running away from a lion. You know the inevitable is going to happen. All you're doing is delaying it, and for the vague chance that you can escape. And that is exactly what's happened here again today. The man is truly an animal. He's something else, and the amount of victories he has, the amount of cups and Simraceway Sunday race-offs he has to his name, and him firsthand as well, has experienced what it's like at the Sonoma Driving Centre. And also an announcement as well that hopefully within the next few weeks you guys will get your own dose of Simraceway in podcast form. That should be coming recapping Sunday race-offs past, present and future, bringing you the very best of content as well, driver interviews, and a little few sneak peeks as to what goes on behind the scenes at the Simraceway offices. So be sure to stay tuned for that right here on the Simraceway YouTube channel to mark the 1 year anniversary of the Sunday race-off. That will be coming within the next couple of weeks, so be sure to stay tuned. Michigan trying to pull away now. He's, well, really, it's talking of staying tuned, he really is staying tuned in to the sound of that 3.5. He's flying right now, a bit further back as well. Lolin Fox and Bandito! Lolin Fox went wide, Bandito's gone wide. They look like they're warming tyres back there. Car control is fantastic. Bandito on the outside, he's run out of road very abruptly. And unfortunately, he's left kind of vying for more. He's back on the main straight again in that slipstream though of Lolin Fox. He wants to get this move out of the way now, get it done before it can make a further impact. Question is that going to happen, or are we already going to see the end? Not quite, man. He's just pulled away. And now Lolin Fox since to the bottom of that train. We've got El Nino, who still holds strong there in P8 at the moment. Daniel C also in 9th. ATO 6th, 10th. Brenor 11th. Xedian still going there in P12 despite having a faulty steering wheel, which is a gallant effort, I must say. A very good effort indeed by Xedian. So despite all of that, despite the wheel not working, he still shines through. He still pushes on. So very, very impressive stuff there by Xedian. For Acer, 7.3 second lead now. We'll quickly recap the times when he crosses the start-finish line next time round. He's over halfway home, and he's about to add another lap to the tally. There'll be 11 laps remaining. So 127.171. Let's see what Miss Again can do in retaliation. Is a 127.5. 127.9 there from Jamu. So 4/10 up on third, but can really see Miss Again ended up in that scenario very shortly where he pulls away a lot from Jamu, but Asa Okura does exactly the same. So he ends up in his little bubble where it's just him versus the tarmac for the second half of the race. It will be quite a mundane finish for him. But even so, if he can get himself to the finish from there in P2, he'll be very happy. That's where he started this race. He would have loved to take a victory, but it's a very difficult task to beat Asa Okura when he's in his prime. Still only one retirement then after 15 laps of racing. That is Lounger after a lap 1 incident. So unfortunately his race didn't go to plan. But taking a look quickly down the field here and how the field spread out, surprisingly enough, Xedian, who's now 12th and still not last after Fregel's mishap earlier on, there's only 44 seconds separating the field. And you say, well, Liam, 44 seconds? Really? That's quite a lot of time. Not really when you think. We're 15 laps in to the Watkins Glen circuit, which every race so far up until now has seen more than 3 retirements, I believe. I may need that fact checked. I think it's 2 minimum. But even so, that's a quite rare stat because we've seen it every time we've been here. It's very difficult to conquer Watkins Glen. There's just something about this circuit which sees even the best of the best make mistakes. It sees boys turn to men, and sometimes men wish they were boys as they can't quite get the reputation down they need to. But after adding the inner loop section after the end of that back stretch, it was such a welcome change after the 1971, the full-on course that was introduced. And what a difference it's made. Well, that we've seen the short section earlier on with the Evos, but when these cars come alive down the back straight and then shoot down the loop, and you see the oversteer, the drivers turning to keep those back ends stepped in line, make sure they don't step out and keep the beast tamed. It is a great bit of entertainment. Again, don't forget, if you really want to get involved in a Sunday race off, all you've got to do is head over to simraceway.com and over on the forums and enjoy yourself. Really, it's a free-to-play game. The tracks are free. You'll be easily able to enter the Evo race to the weekend, which is a hot lap contest. The top 14 drivers head to the Sunday race-off, which is what you're witnessing now. And obviously, you've got the option to purchase various cars from top manufacturers in the world. One of them being this Renault 3.5, costing just $1.5. If you're in England, that's about 90p, so not much to pay whatsoever for a brilliant bit of kit as well. The car that's, we say, 60 mile an hour in 2.2 seconds, 460 brake, really is an emphatic machine to be beholding. And Asa Okura is still using the most of it right now. He's on lap 17, 7.8 seconds. It is steadily going up. There's nothing that Michigan can do. He's running out of time as well. The idea, you want about a second a lap at this sort of stage, or at least to get a few tenths a lap, but he's not even getting that. If anything, it's going the wrong way. 7.8 seconds through the middle sector. I think maybe he should settle down. It's, again, the risk does not match the reward. There's no point in risking pushing yourself over the limit in a car which will very gladly throw you into an Armco barrier just to try and get a few seconds, because you know catching one thing, passing is another. You're going to be catching one of the best racers that Simraceway has possibly ever seen. He's the sheer Sebastian Vettel of the Sunday race-off, and he's going to be very, very difficult to pass. I'm not saying that, you know, he's not going to be able to do it, or he won't be able to get it off. But the point is, you'll be wasting so much time pushing yourself over the limit, trying to make yourself so much more powerful, so much more quicker. You end up losing time and making yourself prone to errors. When you make an error, you start to try and correct the error. You start to try and find out where it went wrong. So to correct it, what do? You start changing lines. You get yourself in a different angle. And when you do that, that's when more mistakes occur. And more importantly, that's when the race-ending mistakes occur. So very important not to fall into that cycle. And just here and there, the onboards of Elite Speedway from P4 at the moment after losing the sight of Jamie early on. Jamie was so focused on trying to stay with Miss again. He's about 3 seconds away from each car right now. In fact, 6.2 from Elite Speedway. Sean 24 is not that far adrift. Neither is Bandito or Lolin Fox. Again, those three drivers who've been relentlessly battling all afternoon. They're not as close now. The battle's somewhat settled down. Is it a calm before the storm, however? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, these drivers have put on a truly fantastic show to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Simraceway Sunday race-off. And to celebrate week number 50, don't forget we've got that massive Circuit of the Americas event next weekend, this time on Sunday. So be sure to tune in right here on the Simraceway YouTube channel to catch that one. It really will be a great afternoon of racing featuring the McLaren Formula 1 car and the Circuit of the Americas, the circuit which is being raced at that very time. And a bit of a twin share from Elite Speedway. Not what you want to be doing when Sean 24's behind you. Only 6.5 laps left. The last thing you want to be doing is giving up easy pressure like that. He is gaining. Sean 24 now just 1 second flat behind. I think maybe Elite Speedway is starting to make too many minor errors. Exactly what I was talking about. And it'll be up to Sean 24 to use the old punching bag technique. Just start throwing punches to the stomach. Just maybe sneak your head around the corner. Go to the inside and back out. Let him know you're there. Show the presence. And as soon as he makes that one fatal move to the outside, or he goes too late into a corner, he outbrakes himself, or he locks those brakes, that's when you go for the knockout punch. And that is when you put a stamp on that parcel, send it to the post box, and claim that position. Sean 24's got a big chance right now of catching Elite Speedway and really taking that P4. 0.9 seconds through the second sector. It is coming down, and I think he's struggling. There's a big chance he can do it, especially going through turn number 11 right now. And Sean 24, 1.0 once again, that time at 127.6, 128.0 from Elite Speedway, so 4 tenths gained on in that time round. We'll see if that was a fluke or an exception to the rule, or if that's going to be a regular thing over this next closing stint of the race. One thing that has been a constant all afternoon though is how Asa Acola just will not give up. 8.7 seconds, and that is now the gap between himself and Miss again in P2. Jamie still 4 seconds adrift there in P3. Elite Speedway again a bit further back. El Nino P8. Exedian still P12. And he's actually catching Brenor. Brenor's only 1 second in front. That's going to be interesting. Exedian will be really fighting for everything he can get. Realising that there is a big chance of maybe scraping into the top 10 if there's a late retirement. The saying goes, nothing's over till it's over here in the Simraceway Sunday race-off, and for very good reason as well. Everybody, I think, is fully aware of the sheer excellent racing we've seen and the most amazing moments. If you were to make a top 5 moments in the Simraceway Sunday race-off, you'd struggle, because there have been so many moments where you're on the edge of your seat screaming at your monitor just wondering what's happened on the last lap on the penultimate corner when the leader spins out, or when it's a battle of a driver who's come all the way through the field after starting last to take a victory. Back in those reverse grid races, the one that stands out to me back at Sonoma, Asa Rakola, who won the first race and therefore started right at the back of the grid, 14 cars back in race number 2, and still pushed his way through 13 other drivers and conquered the circuit to take a victory. It was truly a spectacle, and that is the reason why this man is so talented, why this man is so respected in the Simraceway Sunday race-off community. He's leading again today, 9.4 seconds, and he truly is in a class of his own right now, isn't he? There's going to be no one that stops him, although he is not uninvincible. We have seen him be crack in the past. We've seen him under pressure, perhaps the pit stop incident at Silverstone a few months ago, where in that big endurance race he unfortunately missed the error and retired the race because of it. It was himself and Axvarti, I believe, who seemingly retired. But now he has just a matter of laps to go, 4 in fact, until he's crowned yet a winner again. This will be, I believe, his 4th victory at Watkins Glen. The most wins at Watkins Glen comes from Tony Stewart with 5. So one more Sunday race-off victory and you'll be matching a virtual record set by one of NASCAR's greatest champions. He's been a 3-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion and an IndyCar champion. So a very established driver indeed, and we know it's not quite the same as racing to real life, but even so, to win 5 times at one circuit and the variety of circumstances these guys are put under is truly a fantastic accomplishment to put on your CV. Sean 24 battling there with Elite Speedway. That battle's just come alive. We've missed that while we've been focusing on our race leader. Oh, well, I'm getting a bit worried now because Bandito's going to start catching them. And we're going to see a thriller, I think, coming in towards the end. Let's just wait and see, though. Elite Speedway looking to be on the warpath at the moment once again. Oh, and he's off. Elite Speedway's off. And he's parked it in the wall. And he's going to struggle to get back going again. El Nino's on the way. I don't think he'll catch him in time, though, will he? No, I don't know. El Nino might have a shot. Elite Speedway needs to get up to speed and quick. There's a charging El Nino. They're about the same speed, so it won't be that much of a gain. But it's going to give El Nino a great sense of motivation. So get himself up front. So Elite Speedway, despite pushing on Sean 24, couldn't make it stick in the end. And Bandito is now going to give him maybe a run for his money after breaking into the top 5 for the first time and at least a few months of Sunday race-offs here. Bandito looking strong once again in the top skill quad race. And the session so close to coming to an end right now. Asa Rakola is coming through the boot section of the circuit. And then bringing the car back uphill again. You can see just really dancing the car through, making it look so elegant. So we've kind of got a double meaning for ballerinas then, haven't we? We've got the dancing on ice ballerinas in which cars pirouette for about 4 or 5 times. And then we've got the ballerina which Asa Rakola makes his car look like so exquisite, so calm, so collected. And he just makes it look effortless. There's just nothing going on. There's no raw aggression or sharp turn to the wheel. It's all so smooth and so swift. And that is what sets him apart from the rest of the field. Through the final corner he goes to start his penultimate lap of the afternoon. And what an afternoon it's been for him as well. Truly remarkable once again. Another pole position, and it could very well be another win in just about 5 minutes' time. So time's ticking on then. It's really going to be kind of worrying for these guys now. You can't maybe catch their opponents just up in front of them. But Bruno, who has been passed by Xedian for that final top 10 spot after Fred was made an error. So Xedian, despite having a faulty wheel, now has a chance to get himself inside the top 10. He just needs to hold off Bruno, who has not been the most consistent man out there today. He has been struggling. He has not really been able to get the power down when needed, and that's why he's just outside the top 10 at the moment. Those guys start their penultimate lap right now. As they start theirs, Asa Rakola's about to come towards the end of his. Keep an eye on Bandito, though. We'll keep an eye on their actual lap times when they come across the line. Next is Bandito, looking even more dangerous once again. Only 1.4 seconds away now. Elite Speedway a further 9 seconds away. Unfortunately, won't really play much of a factor in this one. Exedian and Brunel going in towards that chicane again, and Brunel takes a lot of curb, and I think that's where he's losing time. Very curb happy. So Asa Acola then is starting his final lap, and I think it's only fair we take it on board 12 months ago. So on this or weekend, this man first stepped into a Sunday race-off. 12 months ago, I found my new home when it came to commentary, and I met all of the spectators and all of the fans who sit at home and go on the chat room and make this such a thrilling experience, and an honour to do so and provide commentary. And Asa Acola was the man who really set the world alight with the amount of victories, the amount of dominance he's shown here over the past year has been unparalleled. As he now brings the car down the chute and through the boots section again, there is no man who you would say deserves this more to be crowned the year anniversary winner of a Sunday race-off than a man who has been arguably the most dominant out of all the Sunday race-offs. Whether it's the lowest skill point or the highest, there's been no driver that's made an impact quite like Asa Acola, and he's been rewarded greatly for it. A trip to the PDC, countless cash rewards, and more importantly, the respect of every single driver who sits in that paddock with him. They all know exactly what he's capable of and how much of a phenomenal driver he really is. And it's going to do me great pleasure to say that Asa Acola is going to be your winner of the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off 1 year anniversary edition. What a thrilling drive it was, and he'll be very happy with that one, as am I, to call him a winner at that event. And miss again. There's Finn again, begin again. Miss again. Great result there. In all honesty, that man's got to have some potential. Give him a few more months, and he'll be fighting with Asa Acola tooth and nail to the line for a win. Jamu third, sterling job there by Jamu. Sean 24 fourth. Bandito couldn't get there in time for P5. Elite Speedway is going to come across the start-finish line now to finish in P6. So again, good job there for Elite Speedway. Daniel C, not bad at all there, P7. He'll hold off AGO 6 to P7. AGO has to settle for 8th, unfortunately. El Nino will be P9, and 25 laps later to see not a single car was lapped. Not really something you can say in a Sunday race-off as of late. So great feat there, definitely. Exedian P10, what in all honesty, that may very well be a contender for driver of the day. When you get a driver who's got no wheel that barely works to get inside the top 10, that's a good job. Brunel 11th, Fregel 12th, and Nolin Fox, unfortunately, alongside Lounger, did not finish this race. Thank you so much to every single one of you who tune into these events, who race these events and make this possible. You really do make my job so much more entertaining to go into that chat room afterwards and see your feedback, knowing you've enjoyed it and knowing that's what's made me happy. Now, when I go into a forum and I see you guys have enjoyed it, it gives me no greater sense of joy. So thank you so much as well to our events manager, Kosako, to making all of this possible. Without him, there would be no Sunday race-off. He's kind of the man who gave birth to the Sunday race-off. He's kind of the big daddy at home. So thank you very much to Kosako for making all of this possible and bringing me into Simraceway as well, because this truly is my new home now, and I plan to stay here for a very long time. And also to No Fear C, our excellent cameraman who does such a good job of making these races seem like they're on another level, to bring them alive and bring you guys one step closer to the action. So that's it from me. Unfortunately, I will not be here next week, for the Circuit of the Americas event, but I will be there for that signature Sunday race-off on the 24th of November. So thank you from me and everyone else who's affiliated with Sim Raceway, from Renault, from Watkins Glen themselves, every single person involved with the product. We thank you for making this possible. I'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Happy racing.